It's locked, all right.
Já passei isso aqui de novo? Merda. Até upgrade já.
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Kill it, boy! Burn it, boy! Die, Bernie! Don't like burning, does it?
human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Burn it, boy! He's dead! Cross the leash, boys! Burn it, boys!
The flower's dying. It needs water.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
Hiding your true appetites behind a facade of compassion. Bravo. Very clever indeed.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
So in the end, the accusation was true, wasn't it?
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
I must confess I have not put an end to the blackmail, my lady. Unfortunately, I could not bring myself to do it.
I'm so disappointed in you, Jonathan. I didn't expect this from you.
Lady Ashbury, you yourself admitted how ridiculous the sum of money was. I can assure you it was all used for charitable ends.
Well, you were full of surprises, aren't you, Jonathan? All right, say I trust you, but you will still pay the ransom. That is only fair. After all, it was you who failed to bring this problem to a satisfactory conclusion.
I believe I could agree to that.
And since a lady always keeps her promises, I will now answer any questions you may have.
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London Vampire Society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
And no one suspected you of the murders?
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
I know this is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
Very well, but I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
A lady has to have some secrets.
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scowl.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then?
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Scowls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
What type of vampire is a Skull?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
Excuse my forwardness, but... are you?
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution. And I'm no fool.
Por falar que o cara é super bom e agora falou que ele é um idiota.
A vampire?
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now an Ekon, and that you shall remain.
Are you an Ekon too?
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man refers to as vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
So we are Ekons. How can I identify us amongst other vampires?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires. But all vampires are not Ekon. We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
Are there many vampires here in London?
Immortals are of a rare breed, and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet some of us at night.
Will they all be as affable as you, my lady?
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That sounds like a lesson from experience.
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the identity of the vampire who attacked me?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, you may discover an immortal in the deep of the night. But we are a rare and reclusive breed. Our progeny is almost never accidental.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well-trained.
Though I can't be certain, more than likely it was the once glorious Guard of Priwen.
Once glorious, but still dangerous.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society, and like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it seemed they have been recruiting.
I've been away from London and England for 3 years.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time, and I've never seen it like this.
The Spanish flu.
Yes, but it's not just that.
What is it you...
Fear has long since flown this form.
I bid you... I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening.
Do you need an...
I'm afraid I do.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections.
That's easy for you.
Do you know that Nurse Hawkins is thinking of leaving the hospital?
That's not a surprise.
Does it not bother you?
Sometimes I think she may be right.
What's going on between you?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do...
Come on.
I'd like to...
Wise choice.
I'm quite...
Do you need...
Don't be ridiculous.
If you have a...
Doctor...
I know...
Huh.
Aren't you too old for such jealousy?
Don't be ridiculous, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your time. Good evening, Mr. Al. Goodbye.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
Pain.
Good evening, Miss.
I need blood.
See you again.
And
I
what?
don't need...
I see.
Never.
It's a mental illness.
Delusional, you say? Oh,
Please.
I can hear my body.
I'll leave you, mistress of the...
She could be sick again.
Daily routine.
Blood boil with fever.
Razvan Vasily was infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Scowls. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it. Evening, Edgar. Could I get...
Please, speak.
This strain of flu.
Really?
I've just looked at the blood of one of...
I see. Do you have...
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly. The London strain is different from the continental one.
This is very interesting. Did you find something else?
Yes. Unlike the flu, the infected begin to show an increase in outwardly aggressive behavior. More than simple agitation. Once docile people become violent.
You mean like rabies? Is there a chance we could create a vaccine, Jonathan, like Pasteur? By the stove, that would be smashing.
There's a lot we're not seeing here. But it is spreading, and quickly. If we don't act, the whole city could be lost.
But Jonathan, we've a fantastic opportunity sitting right here in front of us. A weapon of choice.
What on earth do you mean?
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood, we could isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about the possibilities.
But the risk of infection using vampire blood could compound the situation.
I know, but your blood now carries remarkable regenerative properties. With our minds and your blood, there's nothing we couldn't cure.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But as I said...
Yes?
I'm afraid it's your sister.
My sister?
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery. Your mother published the obituary this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Please accept my condolences.
I never thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary, I can't forgive myself. I'll find the truth about what happened to us. Good evening.
Dr. Reed.
And why?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more...
Do you ever think about that?
The wound he gave me will make
That man was determined.
What a surprise.
What did he want?
I recently had to kill his brother.
You're a monster, Mr.
I'm the toughest bastard you'll ever meet, Doctor.
How is
This is a shitty...
What's wrong?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton.
I see.
The nurses aren't too ugly.
What's wrong with...
Come on, Dr. Reed.
But you're alive, thanks...
What are you expecting, a medal? Off...
You're lucky.
This place...
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. But
Don't play the in...
I'll leave you for now, Mr.
Please, I feel sick. Get over here now.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
Do you require med...
I will... I'll try.
Goodbye, nurse.
I'm not of my own life.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you need...
I'm afraid...
Not under...
Thank you.
Do you need medical help? You're...
I'm fine.
Goodbye. Good evening.
Eve.
Soldier.
Not as long don't think you...
Goodbye.
Disgust on every street corner.
sister. I don't know if I have the strength.
What do you want? Somebody help! What do you want?
Are you all right, miss?
I don't know. Who were those?
They've lost their minds in the epidemic.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I am Shaoshun. Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reed. I must go to this...
Carnage. This man's far too old to be Samuel. No. By the look of his clothes, this man's a docker. It's locked. Shouldn't you go back home?
Maybe later. But for now...
Since I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony. I can't believe I'm doing this. Avery, I leave you to care for my mother. I'm in no state to comfort her.
I am the resurrection and the life.
Nossa, fazer o
He
funeral à
that believeth
meia-noite.
in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Why kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
Oh, Mary. What have I One thing. One thing. This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do but accept it.
What brings you here?
I thought you could use the company. I am so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
I wish the tears would come, but I'm empty, and I feel a hypocrite.
Let your pain run free, Jonathan. Don't smother it. What you feel is your humanity. Don't be so quick to lose it.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me, and it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
How is it possible? Tell me. Is it so easy to take a life every night, and then just smile and nod at those you spared?
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you.
Pausa rapidinho.
Jonathan, I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
I'm not a religious man. You should know that.
This is not about you forgiving yourself. This is for her. This is you telling Mary how sorry you are.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
Ninguém põe terra nesse negócio.
Hello, sir. Sorry to disturb you at this hour. I'm a doctor inquiring about the epidemic. May I come in?
A doctor, you say? No, thank you.
All right.
Estamina, sem nada. Ferrou.
This is Crush the Leech, boys! Fight for this!
Good evening, sir. It's me again.
Leave me alone, I say, whoever you...
All right. I shan't.
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion. Shed your skin, forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon?
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
These immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel. This man stunned me with his faith, his crucifix. This is not good news.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
Mesma coisa.
You seem to me a good soul, vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl.
It was an accident. A terrible, terrible accident.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
I feel responsible. The pain is consuming me.
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What would you like her to know?
I killed you. There's no excuse. My dear Mary, forgive me.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all.
Good evening, Doc.
Have you any news?
I'll never know what goes on in that place.
Do you need...
That would be nice of you, Doctor.
If you persist...
Thank you, sir.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story...
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Goodbye, Miss... Good evening.
It's
Don't you...
I've been touched.
Have you recently...
That woman is a...
Really?
This woman runs no...
Don't you...
I
have had...
I prefer not to give you another beating, Baron.
Good evening, Chris.
Change.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in White...
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with...
Good...
Fear no evil. We do the Lord's work here. Oh no.
Nossa senhora, o cara é ninja.
Over there! There's one of them things! It's a leech! Kill him! Rewind shall prevail! Fear no evil! We do the Lord's work here! Go on back to the shadow! I shall fear no evil!
Remorse and pain are precious when binding you to the earth.
I remember you.
Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You made me. Made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
Riddles and rhymes. You took my life. Now you insult my mind.
Be stilled, my child.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me. Pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her.
Very well.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me, Edgar.
I do, dear fellow, I do.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Rest assured, I will protect you.
McCallum is a fanatic. The Guard will...
Very well, since I brought Mr. Hampton. If you don't, I just recently met the strange...
Perhaps it was a skull.
It was a vampire, all right.
If you find anything more about this creature...
He was observing me with the obvious intent.
You need to be careful, John.
What exactly happened?
Hampton turned.
Are you sure?
There was blood everywhere.
How did the guard...
McCallum has spies everywhere.
I recently tried to enter...
The Brotherhood's research on the matter of faith and vampire...
Is this proof that I'm...
The wrath of the Almighty? There's no way of knowing.
It's hard to explain it.
I'm sure Lady Ashbury will have far greater...
Thank... Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
I'm quite...
What can you tell...
Nothing like this would have happened.
So you don't think...
We all hold fast.
Do you need money?
Don't be ridiculous.
Then you are...
I wish this hospital...
Thank you for your time. We'll talk...
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you...
Not mu-
Are you really that rich?
Yes. Thanks.
May I ask if you...
I'm a teacher by profession.
Do you require...
Do you know? Well,
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening, Miss.
I'm okay.
Do you need any...
Thank you, Doctor.
I have to go now, sir.
I'm alright. Waste your time with me.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Is there any...
Really?
Please.
I heard Miss Jones call.
Do you know who...
Not sure.
Is there anything...
I'm all.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick.
Sweet girl. Treats me like a book.
oh, Jonathan, I cannot believe...
Yes, and I'm afraid...
Jonathan,
Forgive me if I feel...
I'm always here.
What do you know of Ascalon?
What more can you tell me about him?
He was bigger than a man.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon.
What is?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful...
I have experienced a certain difficulty.
Now that's quite a question. I don't...
Is this a sign? The hand of God?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan.
Aren't you?
Very little scares me, my dear.
Have you embraced this woman? Like
Her name was Amelia. And no,
temptation surrounds her.
over the years, any pleasure I once...
Is there sufficient vitality?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger no...
Thank you, my... Good evening, Nurse Brennan.
Good evening.
What?
That...
And did you...
No,
Did you see?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting...
Where is Miss...
I don't know. I don't...
Goodbye, Nurse.
What on earth happened here? It's locked.
How long must I wait, damn it? Lady, will not really...
can I be sure I'll not find your unconscious body in the house again?
I promise you'll not find my unconscious body.
For God's sake, how can you say such a thing?
How can you refuse to listen? I tried to warn you for so long.
No, I won't let my only son die. You promised me you'll stay alive.
Your son lied to you, like the whole world lies to us.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, Mrs.
I'm all right. Don't wake me.
Good evening.
I'm okay.
Admit it, Mortimer. Your mother had you hospitalized here
Yes.
All right, then. This is the...
Call it what you want.
Can I help?
I wrote a letter for my...
I see.
Yes.
You can trust me. I won't...
I guess I...
I have to go...
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening.
Your son...
Are you not aware suicide is a crime?
I understand you fear the legal consequence.
All my son needs.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
You always knew the words to calm me.
We may lack the resources, but we have some of the most brilliant minds in London at hand. Is this supposed to be an hospital? I think not.
Hello again.
I'm a
Do you need...
afraid. Your work.
Goodbye. Hello.
Yes.
Do you want...
No.
An irrational fear like...
Will Doctor take again?
Perhaps you were trapped.
Are you joking? I grew up...
Mr. Than.
No.
I understand.
No.
Why? Tell me about your claustrophobic.
That's what the bloody doctor said. But
Why did you run?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital.
Do you need...
Don't get...
Oswald.
I don't trust doctors.
Your fear...
I've seen enough but...
Goodbye, Mr. Than.
Burn it, boy! Watch yourself! Take a breath.
Over there! There's one of them vermin!
I cannot enter.
Over there! There's one of them vermin! Die, vermin! Oh, that's got a smart! Die, vermin! Steady, boy! It's too strong! I'll kill Watch it! It's a killer!
It's locked, all right. In this letter, Mortimer Goswick does nothing to hide his desire to die. I could give it to his mother, but doing so would betray his trust.
Good evening, sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you see I'm...
Dr. Jonathan Reed, that's who I am. And who...
Ah, some fancy gentleman we've got here.
So you won't tell me...
The name is Booth Digby. Maybe I'll ask...
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
So you're a concerned criminal, is that it?
Using funny jokes about me and my boys, are you? Fuck. You must have some balls.
I saw many men like you during the war, Mr. Digby. Greedy little cockroaches who feed on despair.
I could kill you for saying that. But, nah. You've been a soldier. I can respect that.
So, tell me about your gang, then.
What? Have you got a death wish? You really...
Well, yes. You seem so
Oi! I'm the boss, all right? The wet boot.
What can you tell?
Things ain't that bad, thanks to us.
Well, you're not doing a very good job.
Yeah, well, we can't be everywhere all the time.
More efficient, really.
Incredible. You know what? You're lucky she...
Do you know where I can find Sean Hampton? I need to talk to him.
The sad saint. Why on earth do you want to talk to him?
He was one of my patients at the Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, yeah. I heard the poor bastard had been abducted by some cunt. You better ask Tom Watts. He knows Sean Hampton well.
Goodbye.
It's locked.
Everyone's throwing the blame.
Isso aí, galera, dá uma descansada. Jogamos bastante hoje.